addresses?
I think, Saeed, this book has the audacity of hope.
There is a chapter called Hope at the end.
It has the audacity of hope because it has, in these times of hate, where hate is the flavor of the time we live in, and is a marketable commodity. It's so life-affirming to find a compassionate voice erupting from these pages, and that too from a filmmaker who made movies of anger. And in fact, I was telling Aziz, कि अजीज यार ये फिल्में ऐसी बनाता था, इसकी इतनी intimate, warm, compassionate जो एक आवाज है, why couldn't that surface in his movies? And I think it reminds me of a saying, there was a Jewish rabbi who said something when I was young and stupid, I used to be dazzled by eloquence. But as I gone older, the only thing that touches me is human kindness. I think what is unique about this book, that even when you tear the opponent to shreds, you have the ability to reflect. You have the ability to look at your warts and you question whether you have rubbed them the wrong way or you have been overtly critical when they should perhaps be applauded. So I think this is a very unique book, and as I entered, I said, this is a very good book. आलम बख्शी साहब used to say कि भैया किताब अगर दोस्त की है तो अच्छी है, दुश्मन की तो बहुत बुरी है. तुम दोस्त तो अच्छी है ही, मगर this is an extraordinary book because it has the audacity of hope, and it looks unflinchingly at the reality. It doesn't. वो जो it reminds me of Sahir Saab's song, वो सुबह कभी तो आएगी, उसका एक मुखड़ा था जो इस्तेमाल नहीं हुआ था, जो हमने हमारी फिल्म बेगम जान में इस्तेमाल किया था, कि वो सुबह हमी से आएगी. वो सुबह कभी तो आएगी नहीं, वो सुबह हमी से आएगी. So here we are at this moment saying, we will bring that dawn which has, because we can't allow people to wrench away the soul of India by anyone. And let us not confuse, no matter what mandate a political party gets, the nation is not the government. The nation's soul is much bigger than any government. This is what resonates in every page of this book. And that is why I think this book is an extraordinary book. This is an extraordinary book. I think, but before we go into that, I feel that, as we all know, dissent is a lonely street to walk on, right? But all great political movements or religious movements or artistic leaps have taken place in the womb of loneliness. So I think in the heart of loneliness, perhaps as you inch toward what is called the wisdom, midlife or the wisdom years, this book flowered from you. And I think what it does make one point is that Saeed is the most relevant voice. It's not an old man lamenting about the time that was. He passionately engages with the stream of life and says, I will lead from the front and I will dare you, I will not walk there, and I will change the course of where things are going. And I think that is what I applaud in Saeed, because he comes to your office, walks up and says, I want you there. He comes with this book. And when I open this book, what staggers me is his insight, his simplicity, and his passion, and his ability to hope. And I think we need to believe in that those who have made hopelessness into, the be-all and the end-all, need to understand that it's the brave who can hope. Because hope compels you to engage. Hopelessness is a submission. क्या कुछ नहीं हो सकता हमसे, क्या है उसको ऊपर से डिसाइड हुआ, पिछले जन्म में किया है, the same narrative being dished out, you can't do it. Here you are through this book, and I had the privilege to meet this guy called Muntazar Al-Zaidi, whom you have mentioned. The guy in that fascinating discussion between the gangster and the journalist, and you come to that guy who we did a play called The Last Salute, where we called him because we based a play on his biography. And he came, he's an Iraqi young man. He came straight and he landed and he went to the Rajghat and he paid respect to Gandhi and kept on talking about Gandhi. And I asked him only one thing. I said, Muntazar, before you hurl that shoe, what happened? He says, I came to terms that they're going to kill me. They're going to execute me. But when I was sitting down there, I had my hand to travel from year to year. This journey from year to year, and to pick it up and hurl it, defined who I was, because there I was doing the job of voicing the anguish of the Iraqi people. And he said, I have never felt more powerful, because I felt that I was perhaps born for this. I think, Saeed, this book in a way does that. It does what Muntazar did. And those who feel that that book was, that the shoe throwing image was just a demonstration of some frustrated journalist, and look, and in fact they turned it around and said, wow, look at the accommodated spirit of George W. Bush, and this is democracy. But I think that did succeed in amplifying what the world media failed to do. They did not bring the truth of what was playing out in the hearts of the people. So I met a CNN journalist who said, we are guilty of not amplifying what's going on there. I think that one journalist, by daring to risk being killed, achieved through that gesture, and that is how it has been found a place in his book. So I think this book will create an impact. It will move things, because there are millions of people out there who will feel connected to this book. During the Iraq war from the American masters, that they had the tools of mass destruction and the tools of mass distraction, and to how to when a nation gets consumed by trivia, cultural threat is certain. So to talk about things which concern the nation and the people whom we call the salt of the earth seems to be an outdated narrative. Where in this time are you talking about, it's a very cynical attitude to say, you're talking about the left ideology which has now been chunked into the dustbin of history. So I said, to have empathy for your fellow human being is outdated. And you talk about karuna, you call this is the mother of civilization, and this is a punya bhumi. So I think you need to reframe the narrative and say this is those who are representing the soul of India are not the people. The soul of India, the womb, that is what Saeed talks about. That gesture of his when he stops the car and gets down and stops near the grave, and that Sardar who's there comes and says, "Acha kiya aapne, acha, these are good things to do." Where you suddenly do something which is just so rare and human. And I think that is what we need to rediscover. This is what we used to boast about. We used to say that the great movies that we saw in the golden era, which are part of our consciousness, we celebrated we were different from the others because we had that social currency of being concerned about the pain of a fellow human being. Now, apathy, when apathy is eclipsing the landscape, when empathy erodes, evil walks tall. So this is what's happening कि हमको क्या लेना देना है यार, हमसे कुछ नहीं होगा. The power of the individual to change the narrative is what Saeed talks about, and I think when he stops and on his computer and starts working, he rekindles the hope in each one of us and talks about rediscovering those values on which civilizations have endured. And this very diverse country perhaps couldn't have been held together without that glue, which is empathy. And I think that is what is under fire.